Niyamadhyastu kurvita bhakting vadrohameva va tasyapi chet prasannosau phalang yachati vanchitam. If one is steadfast, either in devotion or even in hatred towards Lord Shiva, he is pleased and grants all desired wishes. Riddhang kinchit samadaya kshulakang jalameva va yodatte niyamena sau tasmai datte jagatrayam. If one is affluent, let him offer luxurious worship, or if he is indigent, let him take and offer a little water. To him who makes any offering regularly, the Lord grants all the three worlds. Anadarena satyena parihasena mayaya Shiva bhaktira taschetya dantya jopi vimuchyate. If one is unable to do even this much regularly, and instead prostrates and circumambulates the great Lord Shiva, he gets pleased towards him. Pradakshinasva shaktopi yasvante chintayet shivam gachan samupavishto va tasyabhishtang prayachati. The Lord grants the wishes even of one who is incapable of doing circumambulation, if he thinks in his mind of Shiva while moving about, sitting, or doing anything else. Chandanang bilva kashtasya pushpani vajajanyapi phalani tadrishanyeva yasya pritikarani va dushkarang tasya sevayang kimasti bhuvanatraye. Shiva, being one to whom the paste of bilva wood and even blossoming forest flowers and fruits are pleasing, what is there that is difficult to get in his service in all the three worlds? Vanyeshu yadrishi pritir vartate parameshituhu utameshvapi nastyeva tadrishi gajameshvapi. Whatever liking is there in the Lord for things obtained in the forests is indeed not there in him for even the best things available in the human settlements. Tang tyaktva tadrishang devang yaseva tanya devatam sahi bhagi rating tyaktva kankshate mrigatrishnikang. One who ignores such a Lord, preferring to worship any other deity, is indeed like a person who abandons the holy Ganges and runs after a mirage. King tu yasyasti duritang koti janmastu sanchitam tasya prakashate nayam arto mohanda chetasa. To the person whose intellect is deluded and whom still exist the sins gathered in millions of lives, this message does not verily present itself. Namaste. So the consciousness of Shiva in any form, way, or manner is so powerful that it grants liberation. Even one who is absorbed in hatred or animosity towards Shiva gets the same result. Now, this is wild, isn't it? Normally we think that, oh, if I love God, then he'll protect me. Or if I hate God, then he'll send me to hell. Well, that's dualistic Western thinking for you. Actually, the Lord, Shiva, is Brahman. He is absolute. So any consciousness of the absolute is the same. Whatever mood it's in doesn't really matter at all. And there are so many stories in the scripture. One thinks of Shishupal, for example, in the Bhagavad Purana, who was so absorbed in enmity towards Krishna that he criticized him again and again, so much so that Shishupal's mother begged Krishna to grant a boon that he would not kill him. So Krishna said, I will tolerate 100 times. And the mother was satisfied. But Shishupal kept going, and when he reached the 101st time, Krishna took his chakra and whoosh, off with his head. But in the presence of everyone who was gathered there, they saw Shishupal's spirit merge into the body of Krishna. So you see, this is the actual result of consciousness of the absolute in any form. This is why Brahma Sutra, chapter 4, says, any form of worship or any kind of meditation yields the same result. Because Brahman is the same. So even though we may superimpose some symbol or some name or form on Brahman, and then we have some kind of a relationship with that according to our mood, still the results of that meditation are realization of Brahman, liberation from birth and death, attainment of purity, unlimited consciousness, perfect knowledge, and so on. All the results of performing sadhana in whatever form, in whatever mode. So then he says, therefore, one who is affluent can worship opulently, but one who is poor, who is indigent, means homeless, basically, can offer just a palmful of water. And that's enough. They both get the same result. Why? Because Shiva is the absolute. So actually, he prefers the simple worship because there's less distractions. For example, when I was staying at that big temple in the east part of Sri Lanka, they were performing so many elaborate rituals with many, many mantras and all kinds of paraphernalia and all this stuff. And the result was none of them got liberation. Why? Because they're always distracted and thinking of material things. Oh, I have to buy this kind of paraphernalia. Oh, I have to dress the deity in this way. Oh, I have to make garlands. Oh, I have to get all these precious things to offer. The anxiety is unlimited. In fact, the temple administrator, about 2 weeks before the big festival, where I was a guest, he had to be admitted to the hospital because of stress. Now, that's not the result of effective sadhana. Rather, it's the opposite. That when you think of Shiva all the time, he removes the stress. He makes things simple and easy. So, if offering a little water and chanting the Panchakshara mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, is enough to satisfy Shiva, why should one take on the complications of elaborate pujas, ceremonies, rituals, many, many mantras, and so on? It's just a distraction. It's just an agitation and a source of stress. And what we're trying to do actually is get rid of all these things. So the simple worship is best. And in the next couple of verses, he confirms this by saying, even simply circumambulating Shiva, meaning the Shiva lingam or Shiva's temple, and offering prostrations to him, dandavats, pranams, where one lays his whole body down on the floor before the deity, before the lingam, or even just outside of the temple, will have the same result. Oh, I remember one time I was in North India, and I had gone to see a self-manifested Shiva lingam, one of the most powerful Shiva lingams in India. And unfortunately, in the bus that I was taking to go to the temple, so many children got on. There was some kind of a school trip, I guess, to this festival. And they were making so much noise and they were so rude and disrespectful. I got so pissed off. And I arrived at the temple in that mood. And I felt, I am not suitable to go inside the temple. I can't go inside, not in this mood. I'm too angry, too agitated. So I simply walked around the temple, circumambulated the temple 3 times, and then offered full dandavats at the entrance, at the feet of all the pilgrims going into the temple to see him. And you know what happened? Instantly, all the negativity was removed. See, this is why I love Shiva. He doesn't require all this opulent, fancy, elaborate worship. Any little simple worship will do. It's the intention that counts. It's the personal relationship that counts. One should be in love with Shiva, either as a friend, a master, a parent, or even a lover. It's okay. He accepts all, and no matter what condition you're in, even if you're a demon or a ghost or something like that, he accepts you. That's why Shiva in the scriptures is described as being surrounded by ghosts and demons. It's not because he's evil or bad or impure. It's because he's so pure and so good that he doesn't discriminate anybody. So whether you're a demigod or a demon, a human being, rich, poor, man, woman, whatever, he will accept you if you approach with love. Now, in the next verses, he says that Shiva is happy to accept even the paste of the bilva wood, which is actually is a useless tree. The bilva tree is very crooked, so you can't use it for lumber. It doesn't burn very well, so you can't use it for firewood. And it actually is very hard to cut because of its gnarled and twisted nature. But if you just simply cut it, dry it, make a paste by grinding on a stone and offer to Shiva, he's pleased. In fact, if you do nothing but that seva, he would be very pleased. And if you also want to offer some forest flowers and fruits that you pick wandering in the woods, that's great. In fact, he specifically does not like the products of industrial civilization, like, metallic ornaments and things like that require a lot of technology, a lot of work, a lot of carbon emissions and whatever, machinery and so on. He doesn't like those. He prefers the simple, natural worship of the forest dwellers over and above the sophisticated city dwellers who depend on all kinds of technology for the things that they offer. Shiva is kind of contemptuous of that. And finally, he says, when this kind of easy approach to Shiva, who is the greatest Lord, Maheshwara, if this is possible, why would anyone ignore Shiva and go worship somebody else? This is a fact. I spent years as a Vaishnava and wondering why I wasn't making any progress. and seeing that the other devotees around me weren't making progress either. They still retained all of their materialistic habits and traits. They were not becoming purified. Oh, yeah, they were becoming very good at imitating purity, but actually behind the scenes and in the private rooms, they were just as nasty. In fact, maybe even nastier than before they became, because of offenses. But Shiva is not like that. Simply by thinking of him while doing any kind of activities, one becomes so purified that all these bad habits drop away. That's his nature. He's Āśutoṣa, which is the title of this video, and that means he is easily pleased. Well, he's also easily angered. But anyone can satisfy Lord Shiva even by the most simple, most humble, most convenient and easy forms of service, including simply thinking of him or reciting his mantra mentally during all kinds of other activities. If one can cultivate this kind of service, he can very easily pass over the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Shiva. Om Tat Sat. Om Shakti Om. Om Namah Shivaya.